It's the KC Show, coming at you live inside Affordable Title Loan Studio in downtown Union. It's your life, your town, your show. With your host, Kyle.
What is going on, everybody? Hopefully everybody's having a good afternoon. Nice, beautiful day, Thursday, November the 5th, 2020. Still 3 days later, pretty much after the election, or excuse me, 2 days later after the election. And we still are no closer to knowing who our president is if you do your own math and not listen to the media, of course, than we were the day before the election. I'll pull up real quick here on my screen where we're at. Let me scroll this over here, and we'll pull up on our screen here, and there we go. So as of right now, still showing Biden at 264, even though Arizona has been removed from Joe Biden's count. The only people that's holding Joe Biden's count is apparently Yahoo News and a few other news outlets, but most importantly, Fox News. Fox News has been terrible through the whole thing. But as you can see right here, actually breaking news a little bit right here, Pennsylvania judge rules Trump campaign can watch workers. It is a civic and legal duty of poll watchers to be able to watch the election unfold, but the same as what Trump has said, the damage has been done. The damage is done as of right now, but I really hope and I really pray that these politicians, these Democrats, whatever they're doing, they better think about it, because they're going to get caught up with sooner or later. Now, as you can see, Trump has did a massive gain here in Arizona, and there's still over 500,000 votes left, and they're all saying that it's coming from early voter turnouts, which has been pretty much all Republican, not all Republican, of course, but a majority Republican. So there is just about a high possibility that Arizona is actually going to go to Donald Trump and not Joe Biden. And then you've got Nevada here. Nevada is finally starting to move in with some votes. And of course, Joe Biden still holding the lead of about, what is that? Is that still, well, he's went up a little bit. He's went about 12,000 votes there. It was at 8,000. Now it's done moved to 12. It's just amazing how Joe Biden can just skyrocket, Trump sits still. Like, no person in this entire state wanted Donald Trump, which is ridiculous, okay? So Pennsylvania, Donald Trump's still holding strong. If you notice the leads, Biden is always extremely high. Trump is razor thin. Pay attention to that. Right here, razor thin again with Donald Trump with North Carolina. This one right here should just about be at the point of being called, but they're holding it till next week. Because honestly, the Democrats have got to see what happens here. They got to see what happens to Arizona. Because they know they're about to lose Arizona and possibly Nevada. So guess who they're going to need? They're going to need North Carolina. That's why you're seeing North Carolina still on the table. And then we get to the biggest sham of them all, Georgia. I'll tell you this right now. If Georgia goes to Joe Biden, I don't care what we found out what's happened in Wisconsin and Minnesota and all these other ones in Michigan. If Georgia goes to Biden, there's a problem here, Houston. Big problem. Huge problem. This is always a red state, just like New York is always a blue state, okay? So those are the things to watch out for. You know, we're starting to find out about fraud that's happening in Wisconsin and Michigan and, of course, all over. We're starting to get videos of postal workers talking about how they're post-dating ballots so they can get the election in there. Then you're getting videos of where they're talking about using Sharpies instead of pens. Now, people are like, well, that's no big deal. It still marks. No, it smears. That's why they tell you use a pen. You always are supposed to use a pen because a pen dries quicker. They say a Sharpie dries quicker. Now, let me tell you to go do something. Go write on a piece of paper with a Sharpie and with a pen, and then take your finger over it, see which one smears quicker. So that's dumb in itself. So there's that scandal going on. And, immediately Georgia, they had a judge who shot down Trump's lawsuit. And honestly, I don't even know how he shot it down that quickly, to the fact that there's clearly some form of election fraud going on and everybody knows it. Now, my question is, I haven't heard a lot from people like Jim Jordan, McConnell, even Lindsey Graham. All these Senate people are sitting back and not coming to the forefront and fighting for you and me. Now, to the people that are enjoying this, now, a lot of people are finding it funny, they're finding it entertaining and all this. That's because you think you're on the winning side. But let me tell you, any election that is rigged, it violates not only our rights, your rights as well. And then one lady was talking about that people were trying to tell her, Joe Biden's new tax plan, it's going to be detrimental. And this person who's not using this, she was like, well, it doesn't matter. They're just going to do businesses. It ain't going to bother my household. Who gives you your paycheck unless she's government funded? More than likely, it's a business. A business pays your payroll. So with taxes go up, that causes layoffs. That causes shutdowns. That causes hour decreases, even possibly wage decreases. So if any of that happens, when it happens to the business, it trickles down to the employees. But let's just say you don't work for a living. Let's just say you're upkept by the government. When you go to buy diapers, milk, gas, Doritos, I don't care what you're buying. Guess what? When you increase tax to business, where does the business have to regain that money from? You, the consumer, right? So your price of your milk and cereal, which is already sky high, is $4 a box for a box of freaking Fruity Pebbles. Guess what? That $4 box is going to turn into a $5.60 box. And so, yes, it does affect you. And yes, if you believe for 1 second that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris is not going to raise tax on middle class, you apparently didn't pay attention for the 8 years that Joe Biden was the VP under Obama when the middle class taxes went up. Where have you been? Pay attention. This is not a football game. It's not a baseball game. It's not a sport. It's not funny. It's not fun. There's not a off season. Well, we'll get better this time around. None of it. This is your lives. You want to win just so you can say, we got rid of Trump. And then you want to go on a false basis every single time, when every time you hear somebody talk about why they hate Trump, it's because he's racist. I say, show me. And they say, all you got to do is listen to him. No, show me. Show me or shut up. Now you're starting to see protests from the right, from the Republicans. And that's not good. It's not good for anybody. It's not good that anybody has to protest for anything. But then the left are going to go out there and start protesting again. And then you're going to have the right out there protesting. Guess what that's going to be? And see, you little young people, and I'm 35, so I'm young as well, but you idiotic little young people between the ages of 18 and 25, you think this stuff is a game? You play too much Call of Duty, Grand Theft Auto, whatever the hell it is you playing. You think you can go out there in the streets and act like you a little gangster, but when you get your damn arm shot off or shot in your heart and die instantly, or watch your friend die instantly, you don't go hit the reset button. and he's back alive, this is serious. You better start reading and paying attention. Joe Biden has not been able to do anything for the black communities in 47 years. Why the hell do y'all think he's going to do something now? And it ain't just the black communities that he don't do anything for. He don't give a damn about any community. Any community. 47 years in office. Guys, even the black communities in the left and the right, they all say, we're tired of these career politicians. It's time for some term limits. But then you turn around and vote somebody in who's been in office over half his life almost. Ridiculous. Joe Biden is one of the most racist presidents that you will ever see. Why? You think because he ran with Obama that makes him not racist? But yet you can turn around and tell people on Facebook, like I've seen an argument between two women. One is a white woman who's got mixed children with a black man. And they say, well, just because you got mixed kids don't make you not racist. But yet Joe Biden running with Obama makes him not racist, though he has said some of the most racist, insulting. He said that black kids are just as smart as white kids, even though he didn't word it that way. He said that black kids are just as smart as educated kids, meaning white kids. Meaning that it is actually an accomplishment if we can find a black child who's as smart as a white child. That's why, y'all, we can't take what the left, these riots and these protests serious, because look at who you put your leader as. You want to show growth? You want to show that you're actually wanting change? Show us. But you put the same freaking moron back in charge who's been insulting black people from day one. You ain't really black if you don't vote Democrat. Now, what kind of racist crap is that? But yeah, he gets a free pass. That's why we don't take it. When y'all call people racist, we don't take you serious. We just block it out of our head because we hear it so much. And usually when you call somebody racist, they're not. You just don't like the fact that they don't agree with you. And then you go and make a stupid decision to want to put Joe Biden, a man that cannot put a logical thought together but without paper in front of him, without a teleprompter in front of him. The man's got freaking... You can tell he's got a touch of dementia. You can even tell that maybe he's even had a stroke. But you look at when Trump came out and talked the other night, it was nearly 3 o'clock in the morning. That man come out. He looked fresh. He was energized. That man that's a leader. I mean, let me see some of y'all at 3 o'clock in the morning. Hell, come see me at 3 o'clock in the morning. Trump predicted that I don't want to wake up in the morning and see where they have found thousands of ballots belonging to Joe Biden overnight. And people on news outlets, look at here, him talking about election fraud. They're going to find ballots. Look how stupid he is. Look how silly he is. And what the hell happens an hour later? An hour later, 138,933 ballots were found overnight, and 138,933 ballots. Every single one of them was for Joe Biden. So that means that you've got all these ballots, and not a one was not just for Donald Trump, but there was no write-ins. None. That's like going and finding a bag of M&Ms and only getting green and no other colors in there. It's not going to happen. But we're supposed to believe it. And you morons who are sitting here supporting what's happening, you don't understand. If it can happen to us today in plain sight, it damn sure is going to happen to you behind closed doors. Because see, you are the morons. Because y'all were putting these people right here who is running this fraud, y'all are the ones putting them in charge. Now, you don't think they're behind closed doors sitting there giving away your rights, your freedoms, causing you to lose more money out of your paychecks making your life harder to make theirs better? You really believe that? So, enough of the rant. One more time. This is what we're looking at. Donald Trump will probably win Arizona. There's over 500,000 votes left, and most of them are from Republican areas in Arizona. Matter of fact, I don't know if it'll bring up a zoomed in map. No, it wouldn't. Sometimes it does, sometimes it don't. But Arizona more than likely is going to go to Trump. Alaska will be Trump's. So you take off the 11 votes for Joe Biden, that puts him at 253. That would put Trump up at 225. And then you got the 3 here from Alaska, it'd be 228. And then once you add the 15 here, the 16 here, and that's pretty much ball game, guys. Donald Trump has won this election by a landslide. And that's not a competitional thing. I'm not saying that to piss off people who are Democrats. It's not that. It's what's fair. If Joe Biden, if they didn't have this mail-in ballot bullcrap, and Joe Biden would have won Tuesday night, the same way Donald Trump did back in 2016, and it was all walk-in ballots and all that stuff, you probably would not have heard a single word from the Republicans. They didn't when Obama won twice, right? But we know when we smell a rat. This COVID, this is what it was all leading up to, guys. Y'all think that it was people dying from COVID. Wasn't nobody dying from COVID. They were dying from the flu. They labeled it as COVID to be able to lock this place down, to put this plan into place. It's called a false flag. This is a false flag that is being put upon America right now so they can get their way. Wars have been started due to false flags. COVID was never a pandemic, but it was just enough to push the mail-in ballots. It's the most mail-in ballots in the history of the United States. You're starting to see countries right now, or states, that are over 100% of the votes. 105, 110% of the votes, meaning that there's more votes coming in than they have voters. But that's okay. We don't care that my daddy, I'm probably going to have to go check. My dad probably voted this year. Hell, he died back in April. I probably need to check it. Dead people are being found to be voting. Some of them have voted for the last 5 elections, they said. So, you can celebrate it if you want to, but again, if it happens to us, it can happen, and it will happen to you. Because there's an old saying, like I've said before, if you can't beat them, you damn sure join them. And I believe that's where we're getting at. If it takes burning down some houses, burning down buildings to damn just erupt and change our entire country, and there's nothing else that we can do, we've stood to the side and said, okay, this needs to stop. This is terrible. But we don't get out there and do anything. We let the authorities handle it. We let that happen. But then we go, wait a minute. Did that just work? Did that just take away my rights? Did my election just get screwed because they were worried about rights? Then what does that do? Well, if they can do it, so can we. And what is that going to bring? What is that going to bring, guys? Chaos. Idiocy on both sides. Y'all need to understand this is an election fraud that is being happening in plain sight. Go and watch 9/11 documentaries. Watch the Twin Towers come down by implosions of demolitions. You can see the implosions coming out the side of the building, almost 50 to 60 stories below where the buildings were collapsing from. It was in your face. It was in plain sight. You could see flashes of demolitional charges going off. And I'm not talking about just from videos of people who made the documentaries. You just go watch regular newscasts of that day. You watch the plane that hit the tower. You can clearly tell it was not a commercial airliner. It was all blacked out. Wasn't no white, no blue. I don't care if it's in the shadows. You're going to be able to see them differentials of colors. It was all in plain sight. It was under the worst president we've ever had in history of the United States. I know a lot of people want to say Obama is. He's in second. George Bush was the worst president we've ever had. Ever. Because I believe from this day and to this day on, he planned this because he was best friends with the Obama family. Guys, how many of y'all know that there was 5 Israelis across the Hudson River on top of a building taking pictures and recording before both planes hit because they knew it was coming? And have any of y'all heard them be interviewed? How did they know it was happening? How did they know it was coming? It's all an inside job. There was even a white van that was recovered in New Jersey that had a mural painted on it of a plane flying into the World Trade Center. Did y'all ever hear about that? No. And when those planes hit, they didn't discriminate. They didn't discriminate on who they killed. Black, white, Asian, Mexican. The plane didn't go in there and select them. Killed them all. So, if they're willing to do this, the most treasonous thing that you can just about do is mess with our elections. Other than killing our own people, they are willing to do anything. So, with that being said, we're done with that. That's where we are as far as the election goes. Guys, we've got an event that's coming up this weekend. It's Pro Wrestling Union Back in Black and Gold. Saturday, November the 7th. Doors open at 6 p.m. Bell rings at 7. Tickets are still for sale at the Mailbox Store, 708 South Duncan Bypass. Y'all come out, check us out, check them out, give them opportunity to put on a good show for you. The tickets are only $10. They'll be sold at the gate, or like I said, here as well. Make sure that you get your tickets as soon as possible because seating is limited. We're going to be there. We appreciate everybody who can make it out and help support these guys. And with that, we're going to show an interview with Mr. Cole McAbee, and we appreciate you guys. We will be back possibly next week. It is the holiday time, so streams may die down just a little bit, but we will be covering the election from beginning to end. And once we see something or know something, we'll talk with y'all. But guys, y'all have got to be awake and understand what's happening. Don't take it laying down. We have got to do something. That's the reason why we vote people into power, to control and prevent things like this. And when they do not do their job, we need to ask why. So guys, y'all have a good one. Here's the interview with Cole McAbee. Guys, y'all enjoy. Guys, we're going to be talking with Cole McAbee, who's going to be running an event, a wrestling event on November the 7th. It's Back in Gold and Black, right? I think that's what it is.
It's Back in Black and Gold.
Black and Gold, got it back?
Think of the AC/DC song Back in Black.
Yeah.
But then you just add and gold at the end because black and gold, as we all know, is the color of the Union County Yellow Jackets.
Well, we appreciate Cole being with us to talk about the event. A lot of people have been talking about it, the election, of course, what's happening. And, this is coming right after. It'll be a good fun time and a little bit of stress relief, honestly, for some people who want to come out, bring their families, and just enjoy it. So, Cole, tell us about the event and everything that's going to be happening.
All right, so we are going to be at the Union County Fairgrounds on November the 7th. That is this Saturday. We are going to open the doors up at 6 p.m. Bell time's going to be at 7 p.m. We do have 6 awesome matches. We've already announced 4 of those matches already. 2 of the matches will be championship matches. We do have the heavyweight championship, the Outlaw Randy Wayne versus Cauliflower Brown, who is a former resident of Buffalo, South Carolina, so somebody that's close to home. Also, we have the tag team championships, which we can't really see them on the camera, but I'll go ahead and at least flash it up. I've got one. Kyle's got the other one.
The other?
Oh,
there we go.
See, there we go.
That's actually the podcast champion belt. They made that special for me, and I appreciate that. But,
so we got the tag team champions of Joey Ford and Brady Collins. They make up the team of All Worm No Soul. Very, very unusual name, but they're going up the team of Inglorious, which is Jeff Conley and Aiden Cross, and these are a pair of guys that come from the state of Tennessee. So they're coming a good little ways for that. We have Trans-South champion, who is not defending his title, but he's going to be in a non-title match against one of the rookies from our tag team tournament that we had on YouTube just a couple of months ago. His name is Tillman Allen. So he's getting an opportunity to further his career, so to speak. This will be his second professional wrestling match since getting out of training. And then we have Hardcore Hunter Thompson, who is going to be in the ring with another hometown individual, Black Cat, Dion Johnson.
yeah.
And this is a 30 years that these guys have been wrestling each other. So
That's amazing. We actually had somebody who was trying to escape with tickets and the belts, but we were able to get his photos. That way, if we needed to identify him, then he was like, "Heck, why not I just put him on?" And that's our champion, Michael, showing some tickets off, showing the belt off. He was able to get to hold that.
particular company here, I actually started it just this past year, and we started it over there close to where I'm living now, which is in Lexington County. I work for a 911 dispatch over there, and there's a little town that's in the county. It's called Batesburg, Leesville. They have this beautiful little recreation center, and so I decided I was going to do a show primarily for first responders, because there's a first responders week that coordinates around in October, but most of the time your first responders, like your police, your EMS, your fire, 911 dispatchers, these people don't really get days off. Sometimes they get called in on their days off. So what we tried to do was try to work it out to one of the weekends that we could get the majority of people to come in, which that week was actually a tragic week, because one of our fire members, who happened to be a Batesburg, Leesville resident, he actually died in the line of duty. So his name is Michael Quattlebaum. He was one of the people with fire services right there in that area. He went out to a call for a disabled vehicle, is what it was, and the vehicle wasn't paying attention. So.
I hate that.
But we still had people to show up. We made sure to pay respects to Michael in regards to that, and we had a really good show. And we decided that we were going to continue to do this and make it a brand. But of course, me being a former Union County resident, we've always had wrestling matches here. We started with Trans-South Wrestling, always did it at the fairgrounds. So I wanted to bring the wrestling basically back home, because I always knew that wrestling was such a great town for wrestling. We've had guys like Matt Hardy, we've had Terry Funk, Manny Fernandez, Steve Carino, and like several just wrestlers that have been on the big screens, been on television, and have done a lot of great things, whether it's been WWE, World Wrestling Entertainment, or the former ECW, Jim Crockett Promotions, which of course any wrestling fan from the 80s remembers Jim Crockett Promotions. So that was actually the best wrestling. I don't care what anybody says. But
Well, is it going to be outside or inside?
this is actually going to be outside. So you know where that
Reciprocal.
Yep, so you know where the pavilion is, right there, where like next where the stage is. So that's where we're gonna have it. So that way the ring is underneath the roof. Plus, I've already checked the weather forecast. It's gonna be a beautiful day. I mean, this is a beautiful week, and I think this is gonna be like the last beautiful week after this following weekend, and then we're probably gonna get a few storms that are coming in from Gulf Coast.
Yeah.
So
Coming back
so
through.
this was a perfect opportunity if you're looking for something to do. If you even if you're just like a lukewarm wrestling fan, maybe got turned off a little bit because some of the silliness that goes on the television wrestling. Believe me, I get it. There's no silliness in this. I promise you. We're going to give you 6 great matches, which you can't even get that on a 3-hour show on the USA Network nowadays. So you're going to get that. We're probably going to get you guys out of there by 9:30 or something like that. It's going to but we'll have an intermission so that way you guys can get up, walk around, all that other stuff. We are using the guidelines, so we will do some group seating. I'll even be the one to kind of escort you over to your seats as a first come, first serve. But pretty much, you're going to have good seats in the house no matter where you are, because these guys, they're not just focused on one area. You may have to move out of the way with some of these guys. So if you think the action's not close enough, they might bring the action to you. So so just be fully aware of that.
Well, we're looking forward to it. It's something good for the town. Y'all make sure y'all check them out.
Basically, at this point, I'm going to go ahead and give a shout out to the people who are supporting us and some of our sponsors. In fact, you're very familiar with one of those sponsors, Patty, who's also one of our sponsors. And Kyle doesn't know this yet, but when he gets there, we're going to tell him to get to the back and have a little unitard or something for him to try on. And we're going to say, now, go out through that curtain, get in the ring, and he's not going to know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
We're going to have Patty on the other side of that ring, and we're going to see who the real champion is here.
Tombstone Power Driver's coming instantly. It's over with. Cannot wait.
We'll open up the gates and everybody for 6 p.m. We'll get you seated, get you taken care of. Bell time will be at 7 o'clock. When we have our intermission, some of the wrestlers will come out. Definitely come and say hi to them if you want your autograph. Don't be shy. A lot of these wrestlers, this is what they love to do. They want to go out there. They want to provide not only they don't want to just provide an entertaining show. These guys, they appreciate the fans to come out and support them. So don't be shy. Talk to them. Say, hey, get an autograph, because you never know. Some of these guys might be the next big wrestler superstar that you might see on your TV one day. That's the God's honest truth.
November the 7th, this Saturday at the fairgrounds. $10 for admission. 6 p.m. is when it starts. Make sure you come out, support these guys, and we really appreciate Cole coming in. Guys,